Super PACs are poised to overwhelm the Republican presidential primary campaign.
Every super PAC is insidious.
The super PAC.
That super PAC.
The super PAC.
These kind of organizations didn't exist in 2008, and now we're seeing millions of dollars being thrown around.
The most expensive election in American history.
They can take as much money as they want from whoever they want. They don't have to disclose who they are. They can do whatever they want.
Political action committees have already spent $18 million.
This is the story of this election. The biggest spenders are not the candidates. They're the super PACs.
A super PAC is a bit like the weather, in that, like the weather, everyone seems to be complaining about it.
You know some of the ads aren't true.
That is not my ad.
But no one will or can do anything to change it.
Would you both agree to take these super PAC ads down?
Super PACs became legal after 2 Supreme Court decisions in early 2010. Those rulings meant that individuals, organizations, and corporations could donate unlimited amounts of money, not directly to candidates, but to political committees with lofty, patriotic names that are often nothing more than thinly disguised supporters of those candidates.
The court has decided that spending money in politics is a form of free speech. Now, of course, what that means is that if you're rich, you get to talk a lot louder than if you're poor, which seems a little bit antithetical to the concept of democracy. Nevertheless, the court has made that decision that you can't regulate speech. If you can't regulate speech, you can't regulate money on speech, and here we are.
And the super PACs are already having an impact on this election.
In Iowa, Newt Gingrich was emerging from the field as really the main alternative to Romney. At that point, Restore Our Future, the super PAC that is supporting Mitt Romney, landed with a series of advertisements, very negative against Newt Gingrich.
He appears unable to transform or even govern himself.
And his numbers, Gingrich's numbers, just began to plummet.
Newt Gingrich, too much baggage.
If I'm watching TV in Iowa or New Hampshire, and I see one of these ads come on from something called Restore Our Future, Winning Our Future, Our Destiny, that really doesn't give me all that much information, and it's really not helpful to voters. It's not telling them anything.
One willing to say anything, be anything. One who can actually do the job.
You don't know who's behind it. You don't know who's paying for it.
John Huntsman.
If Romney can create doubt in the mind of the voter about the character of Newt Gingrich and simply convince them to avoid Newt Gingrich, he has to do absolutely nothing to win their confidence.
Haven't we had enough mistakes?
And ultimately, while you may not like Mitt Romney or you may not like Newt Gingrich, you have to observe the tool, because as I can assure you, whoever you do like will eventually be in the crosshairs of that same apparatus.
Decades ago, Gingrich goes to Washington.
Negative campaigning, the use of attack ads, is popular mainly because it works.
I'm fake Mitt Romney.
The one downside can be blowback. Voters can turn against the candidate doing the attacking. However, when the attack is mounted by an anonymous super PAC and not the candidate, the downside disappears.
So what this does is this allows the candidates to have their dirty work done without putting their fingerprints on it.
The proven conservative. Make Us Great Again is responsible for the content of this ad.
The super PACs are the bad cops of the campaigns.
A campaign is sort of like a railroad, and the campaign's trying to, lay down the tracks to get the train to where it wants to go. But in the process, you need some expendable people to blow up the mountains that are in the way. And that's what these super PACs have really done. They're blowing up mountains, whether it's Restore Our Future, the pro-Romney super PAC that's blowing up Newt Gingrich, that's run negative advertisements against Rick Perry, whether it's the Newt Gingrich super PAC responding in kind with a 27-minute documentary attacking Mitt Romney that's trying to blow him up as well.
That is the man that destroyed us.
Gingrich got about $5 million from a very wealthy friend of his for his own super PAC. And they've already bought millions of dollars of ad money in South Carolina. And there's a 30-minute film that's very negative about Romney when he was a consultant at Bain Incorporated. And lots of people in Carolina are going to get to see that videotape.
The suffering began when Mitt Romney came to town.
Sheldon Adelson, another oligarch who doesn't like Romney, funding Newt Gingrich as an assassination on Romney, and you're just watching oligarchs fight with each other using these secret veils and the puppets of these political aspirants.
The fact that the name of Newt Gingrich's backer is already out there is unusual. The candidates' official campaigns are legally required to be transparent on their funding. However, super PACs don't have to disclose their funding until the end of January, by which time the Republican race may well have been decided. So for now, most of the candidates' benefactors are anonymous, and the candidates are not the only beneficiaries.
There's an interest of the big TV news networks, CNN, CNBC, and Fox in particular, to make sure this contest goes as long as possible because it juices up their ratings. And so you look at that, you look at the super PACs, and this is every 4 years, these news media are going to make more and more money.
The problem in the media is that there are incentives, economic and personal self-preservation incentives, to accumulate the largest possible audience at the lowest possible cost. That super PAC money that Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney spend gets spent with the media companies who then have an incentive not to confront the issue.
There hasn't been a lot of coverage on this. I don't think it's because of bias or self-censorship. I think it's because of the complexity of the issue. It becomes very difficult, I think, for reporters where you have organizations deliberately obfuscating their identities. We can help clear away some of the underbrush here and make this a little more transparent. Who is trying to influence this election?
Who indeed? Born in the aftermath of 2 Supreme Court rulings, the super PAC is the new problem child of U.S. politics. These shadowy committees with their mysterious donors will be on the attack and on the American airwaves right through till November, if only their agendas were as clear as their messages.